So Meta's at this huge crossroads, right? And according to a new report from Bank of America, they're placing this massive multi-billion-dollar bet that's pretty much going to define their future. And get this, it's not about the metaverse anymore. No, this is all about a giant gamble on AI. But here's the thing that's got Wall Street scratching their heads. There's this disconnect. Meta's profits, they're going up. But the stock, it's kind of lagging behind its rivals. So you got to ask, right? If the numbers look so good, why is everyone on edge? Why are investors so nervous? Right. Let's dig into the numbers here, because this is where it gets interesting. The report points out that even though profit forecasts are up a solid 16%, the stock's valuation, what people are willing to pay for it, has actually shrunk by 6%. So what's the result? Well, the stock isn't keeping up with the competition, and that gap, that's where the real story is. And the answer to that puzzle, the thing that's making everyone so anxious, it really boils down to just one thing. A massive, and I mean colossal, multi-billion-dollar bet on building its very own AI. We're talking from scratch. So this whole situation puts Meta right in the middle of a classic business dilemma, It's a huge gamble. Do you build this crazy new tech yourself, or do you just pay to use someone else's? Okay, so let's break down those two paths. On one hand, you could build it all in-house. That gives you total control, right? Long-term independence. But it comes with a huge upfront cost that just tanks your profits in the short term. The other option? License it from a competitor, say Google. That's cheaper right now, for sure, but then you're basically relying on your rivals. And in a game this big, guess which path Meta chose? Yep, the harder, way more expensive one. And when I say expensive, I mean, wow. The cost of choosing to build is just staggering. The Bank of America report thinks that something like $20 billion of Meta's spending in 2026 is going straight into this AI project. To give you some perspective, that's more than the entire GDP of some countries. So yeah, this is the number that has investors really sweating. But you know what they say, high risk, high reward. So what if this all works out? What does success actually look like? Well, that brings us to the bull case, the sunny side up argument for why this whole crazy gamble could pay off big time. And look, this isn't just some fantasy. The report points to stuff that's already working right now. Take Meta's Advantage Plus ad tools. They're powered by their current AI, and they're already automating ad campaigns and bringing in a massive $60 billion annual revenue stream. That's AI literally printing money for them. It's not just about ads either. They're rolling out new AI tools, like one called Vibes, which is all about helping users create more content, way more easily. And think about it. More content means people stick around longer, which means more data to make the AI even smarter. It's this awesome self-feeding loop, a real flywheel effect. So what's next on the horizon? Well, the report says the next big thing to watch for is a brand new, way more powerful large language model. The code name is supposedly Avocado, which is kind of fun. It's expected in early 2026, and if they nail the launch, man, that could completely flip the script with investors and kickstart a whole new generation of products. And there are a couple of other things giving the optimists, optimism. First, they could cut costs in other places. Yeah, we're looking at you, Metaverse. And second, the stock is actually priced pretty reasonably right now, in line with the rest of the market. It doesn't have that super high premium it used to. That basically means there's a lot more room for it to climb. Okay, so that's the dream scenario. But every big bet has a flip side, right? A dark side. So now let's look at the bear case, the danger. What happens if this multi-billion-dollar bet completely blows up in their face? All right, threat number one, and it's a big one, competition. The data in the report is pretty clear. TikTok is still an absolute monster when it comes to user attention. I mean, people are spending way more time there every single day than on Instagram. That's a fight for your time, your eyeballs that Meta absolutely cannot afford to lose. And then there's the stuff happening inside the company, which looks a little messy. The report shows that 2025 was just a whirlwind for Meta's AI teams. Sure, they hired some absolute rock stars, but they also lost some really important leaders and basically shuffled the deck on entire teams. That kind of chaos, that's a huge risk when you're working on the most important project in the company's history. And, of course, it all comes back to the money. The report's forecast for 2026 is pretty stark. Meta's expenses are going to grow way faster than their revenue. And why? It's a direct result of that massive AI spending, and that puts a really painful squeeze on their profits. And as if that wasn't enough, the report flags a few other big risks. Like, what if that initial magic from AI and ads starts to wear off? Then you've got new regulations popping up, especially in Europe. And don't forget the new kids on the block, purely AI-driven apps like OpenAI's Sora, that video generator. The threats are coming from all sides. So you've got the goods, you've got the bad, the bull case, the bear case. So where does the Bank of America analyst land on all this? How do they balance it all out? Let's get to the verdict. The report basically maps out 3 different ways this could go. Their main prediction, the base case, puts the stock at $810. But check out the range here. If things go great, it could hit $900. If things go badly, it could drop to $500. So what that tells an analyst is that the potential for gain is bigger than the potential for loss. They call that a favorable risk/reward, which is exactly what investors love to see. So their official target, the number they're putting out there, is $810 for the stock. So you might be wondering, with all those huge costs and scary risks, why are they still so positive? Well, the core reason comes down to this. The analyst believes that Meta's new efficiency mindset, paired with their lead in AI, puts them in a perfect spot for some really strong growth as soon as this giant spending spree starts to actually bear fruit.
And that leaves us with the ultimate $20 billion question, doesn't it? One that really only time can answer. Is Meta building the actual future of AI, or are they just creating a very, very expensive problem for themselves?